So without further ado, let's continue from where we stop. Now the customer. Who is a customer? Now customers are the bloodline, right? They are the bloodline of every business. Now they are the reason why our business exists. They are the main reason. They are the problems we are trying to solve, and we must learn how to manage them well. So under the customer tab, of course, you know that the same way we have vendor center, the same way we also have customer center. So to go to your customer center, you can click from here. You can click here and you go to your customer center, or you can as well go to your menu. You can see it here written boldly, customer. You can click here and go to your customer center. You see arrive at the same place. Now this customer you are seeing, Maxi Store Limited, is the one we added when we were setting up our system, when we were setting up QuickBooks. That's the one we added initially. We added 3 items. We added customers. We added. So basically there is nothing much to say here, but for the training purposes I just want to repeat myself. All right, the customer center is almost is still the same thing we did in the vendor center. So to add a new customer, you can go ahead and click here. All right, you can go ahead and click here and click on add new customer. Right, so when you click on add new customer, you have to type the name of the customer. Now what happened in a situation whereby the people you are dealing with are not people you can actually ask them their name, to give you a phone number, to give you their name? Like when you enter a supermarket and you are making a purchase for the first time, right? And you, of course, you don't have the luxury of time to waste by waiting for the reception to ask you of your name so that they'll enter it in the system. So what they generally do is that in those kind of situations, we have what is called general sales, we have sundry sales, we have whatever name they choose to call it. So in our class today, this customer for this is going to be sundry sales. That's what we're going to use in identifying customers that just came in and buy for the first time and we don't track them, because there is no how you record transactions or sales without actually selecting the customer that is making the purchase, right? So that is it. So when you do that, you just enter the customer's name. So like I was saying, when it happens in that case, we have what is called sundry sales or general sales. These are different names we use in tracking them. The reason why you have to select a name for this customer, because you cannot record a transaction without actually selecting a customer that is making the buy or is making the purchase. Now to do that, we have seen how to record our to enter our new customer, right? So how do we do that? To do that, you just have to, from where you are here, because we want to enter our new customer, we come to this place where you are seeing new customer and job. So you just click new customer, right? You type in, right? The instance I gave, I said if you go to a supermarket and you want to buy something, of course the reception will not ask you, or the sales rep is not going to ask you of your name, it's not going to ask you of your address, it's not going to ask you of your phone number, right? Because it has been said that any customer that is coming in for the first time, that is coming in to buy in that place, is coming actually to buy and pay in cash. So there is no need of actually entering that customer's details in the system. So we have the sundry sales, right? We have the sundry sales. We can use sundry sales. We are using sundry sales in our instance, but you can use general sales to track such transactions. So in this case, I'll go with sundry sales. Then I will have to enter it as the company name and I'll click OK. Right, so the customer has been registered or has been entered in our system. So what it means is that whenever we want to make any sales to this customer, to any customer that just walked in and is buying from us, if we are dealing on supermarket, right, or if a customer is buying and paying immediately, of course there won't be need of actually entering the customer's detail in the system. So this sundry sales is going to actually allow us to record the transaction with that customer, right? So to record any to record sales, right, to any customer, or when a customer make any purchase from us, or buy anything or buys anything from us. Sorry, English is not my thing, right? So we can make that, we can use this to record that. So what am I trying to say here, right? So if you look at what we have here, we have the invoice, we have the receipts, we have the received payment, we have the sales receipt. Now these three items are the same thing, they function the same, but in different dimensions. Now when we talk about invoice represents a credit transaction to a customer. Just the same way we have bills as to a vendor, invoice represent credit transaction to a customer. So when you bill your customer, right, you issue them invoice. That means they have not paid. So it is a document you issue to your customer when they did not pay you immediately, or they did not make full payment. So by definition, QuickBooks says it's a bill you bill your customer and receive the payment later, right? That is what invoice means. So if you create any invoice, of course, when you are extending credit to anybody, it should be somebody you already know, right? It's somebody you already know, and that is why it is important to register the name of the customer. So in this case, we have Maxi Store Limited as our customer. So I'll go ahead and click on Maxi Store Limited as our customer, and when I do that, this by default will be there, though that you can customize it according to the way you want it to be. You can customize. Then the date of the transaction, of course, you have to make sure that your date of transaction is always intact. Now it comes to the invoice number. I always like customizing my invoice number, right, to represent the month in which we are in. So in this case, we are in January, right? I can go ahead and say January. I can go ahead and say invoice dash January dash 001. It should be, that's the way I want to customize this invoice. You can do your own in another way. Now the terms, then I have to select the terms, right? The terms and conditions. I have to select the terms, right? So the terms, if this customer pays within the terms we are giving this customer is, let's say, due on receipt. Now it is due on the receipt. Is there sales rep that is making this, the person that is making this sales, is there somebody that actually making this? Because when you come to a supermarket, I'll be using supermarket, and I'll also be using, because this our business is not actually a supermarket. This our business is a wholesale and distribution company. So what we are doing here right now is, if there is a sales rep, you can actually assign the sales rep who is making this transaction, right? You can assign the sales rep, and sales rep is always an employee, and it can be a vendor as well, but it is usually an employee, right? So let's say this is the sales rep. Now this sales rep, you can see this is the initials of the sales rep. This is automatic by QuickBooks, you can see it. Then you click OK, right? It has added the initials of the sales rep. Now shipping date, when are you shipping the item, how are you shipping the item, all these data, but that is none of our business. We don't have any business with that. So that is just that on that area. Now let's look at this side again. Now when you come down to the body of the invoice, now we have quantity, right? Quantity means the number of units the person is buying. So let's say the person is buying, let's say 20 cartons or 20 packs. Let's say he's buying 20 packs of this, right? The person is buying 20. You have started recording transaction already. We have started recording transaction. So you can see that automatically immediately we select this item, it calculates the total value of the item. Now this is the total value net VAT, and this is the total value net VAT. You can see below here right now we have the value added tax has been added at 17,400 and something, as you are seeing here. Then the total value is now 250,000. So you can see it is actually the same. You can see the value has been, the VAT has been calculated. This is the net amount, while if you add the VAT, then you have 250. So as the VAT, so you can see that the VAT has been added automatically. Then here you can add a memo, you can add a message to the vendor. You can say, please remit to the above address, whatever. You're saying, oh, we appreciate your prompt payment, right? So you can this is more appealing. You can just go ahead and do that. So So when you are done filling this invoice, right, let's say the invoice is not actually for one item. Let's say here's another item, which is going to be let's say it's going to be this time around is going to be let's say this, right, this 10, this is this. So you can see that the VAT has actually been calculated for you. You don't actually need to calculate the VAT again. This is your revenue. This is what is going into your account as your own, while this and this and this is what is going into your account, while this is going the one that is going to the the Nigerian Revenue Tax Service, right? The Nigerian Revenue Tax Service. This is what is going to them as VAT. But of course, you know that this is not what you are going to remit, because you have already paid part of this to the supplier of this item or to the manufacturer. So you are not going to remit everything at once. So in that case, we have raised this invoice, right? I always like on checking this because I don't want to send or print later. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So when I do that and I confirm that my entries are correct, and I have to save and close or save and new. Now, look at what it's saying. You have changed Maxi Store's terms and ref for this transaction. These changes will reflect in your current transaction. Do you want to make it permanent? I can say no. It will just reflect in this one. This is what, but it is spelling another thing. So just ignore this, right? We have entered the bill. We have created an invoice. Now, this invoice is not a payment. It is a document that says that we have supplied this product to this customer and the customer is owing us. Remember the way we track our bill, the same way we can track our income. So you click on income tracker. When you click on income tracker, you see that we have an unpaid bill. So as simple as that, we have created an invoice. As simple as that, we have created an invoice. So when we come back again in the next section, we're going to look at how to create a sales receipt. We are going to look at how to when we make immediate cash transactions, how we can actually record those cash transactions, and people should take cognizance of that immediately. So thank you very much and see you in the next section.